Good morning, guys. Oh shit, sound is looping. I'm eating mom's lasagna, but we'll get started in a couple of minutes. All right. Jesus Christ, I just finished that lasagna just a little bit too fast. All right. Current portfolio looks like some things are gapping up, some are gapping down. IFK merging with a crypto. A JFK. I have no idea. It's too thin to trade for me. Okay, let's see. So crypto related stuff are gapping higher. Mara, NXTD that I'm long. This SRNE is now, wow, the funny thing is I thought it was kind of a, like this is a 5-star setup, okay? I thought I was chasing. I bought it 829. I wanted to get it like 820 or 815 or something, but and now this thing is, you know, up like 70-80% just a few days. That's the power of strong stocks. This is the hottest sector. It's a strong stock. Look at how it's been surfing the 20-day. Built the base and then it just exploded higher. Just checking my rest of my holdings real quick here. There's just a lot of stocks that are reporting today and tomorrow. Like growth stocks. APT I sold half yesterday since it closed below the 20-day. And if it can't hold this $20 area today, like I'm probably gonna sell the rest. Like if it takes out yesterday's lows, I'll sell the rest. I still have 20,000 shares. They reported earnings yesterday. I didn't even see that they reported earnings, but you know, the numbers are crazy, but price action is king. Numbers are insane, like insane. 475% EPS growth, 123% revenue growth. These are like fantasy land numbers. But again, you know, a lot of this is already priced in. The stock is up 400%, almost 500% this year, so we'll see. Lake looks good. A lot of the stocks I'm long are gonna report like tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. One already reported, AVLR. It's gapping down a little bit. I think Peloton reports after hours. W reported. Insanely good numbers. It's kind of funny. Someone, I don't remember if it was on YouTube or on Twitter. Someone told me last week, hey, I see you're long W. You should stop trading. Or you should quit trading. And that was literally like one of these 2 days, like the first or the second day after I bought it. And the stock is up 25% since. And I'm up like $500,000 on it. Kind of funny. Maybe he's the one who should stop trading or quit trading. You know, you can have like personal opinions about the stock. You hate the product, or you had a bad experience because of bad customer service or whatever. All of that shit doesn't matter. Price action is king. Your opinions don't matter. My opinions don't matter. They just don't. We tend to believe they do, but they don't. Just the way it is. They just do not. Riot, I wanted to get a nice little range of the 60-minute chart, but it's gapping up a lot, so I'm not gonna get it. This is the one that shook me out a couple of weeks ago, and now it's way higher. Super annoying. UAVS broke out yesterday. No, it didn't. Or wait, did it? Oh, well, actually, yeah, it took out the highs of the day and then it closed weak, and today it looks like it's gapping higher. So yeah, I mean, I guess you would have, you did get an entry, but you know, with the weak close, I don't know, kind of ruined a little bit. But yeah, it's going higher for now. FLGT, a thin stock. It's extended from its nearest base. Very good earnings. Gonna track it over the next. I put it in one of my watch lists. I'm gonna track it over the next few months. NVAX, this thing was insane. Was down. I think it was down 100, like 104 or something after hours, and then it went to 200 in pre-market. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. So it pretty much almost doubled from yesterday after hours to today pre-market. Those who bought it here, well, you know, if you got stopped out, you did the right thing. If you got stopped out after hours, you did the right thing, because it could have been at 50 today, you know, today in a pre-market. But you know, you rarely see something like this. Very rarely. Sometimes it happens. But this is I'm gonna watch it as a short. I think starting tomorrow, it's gonna be a very intriguing short setup. HZMP had good numbers. This thing had a 5-star breakout on this day here. Just study that, you know, memorize that setup. I didn't trade it. I was in already a lot of other stuff. VBIV, another COVID name, gapping higher. Doyu and Huya, these are the China Twitch, both of them. They're gonna merge or something. Fiverr, insanely good earnings. Again, very extended stock. It's not a buy here. If it keeps going, a couple of days will be a good short. But maybe in a few weeks or months, if it builds, you know, if the 10 and 20 days start catching up, there could be another nice base on this thing. Square, it's an extended name, but you know, it just came out of a base and now it's gapping a bit. This one could be a buy, like opening range highs, the first 1 minute, 5 minute candle, and maybe the first hourly candle, like if it's tight. I mean, like this is the kind of stock you're gonna risk $2-3 to make 20, 30, 40. I mean, Livongo, this thing. Now it sucks they merged with T-Doc, because I'm long T-Doc and this thing is now gapping down on this Livongo deal. But this, you know, it was a short setup, but now I don't know. EMPH, this one gapped up yesterday thanks to SCDG earnings. Twilio gapping down. Like there's so many explosive growth stocks in the markets right now. It's unbelievable. Just the insane amount of like, really explosive growth stock with triple-digit earnings, triple-digit sales. Exactly what you want to see. Yeah, wait, what? BNTX? Yeah, BNTX looks good. Yeah, it looks great. 5-star setup. If it starts breaking, I'll buy it. BNTX is a 5-star setup. Okay, let's see more setups. We have mRNA. Well, it looks like it's gapping down today. AMD is a potential short setup, not for today probably. I'm taking it off. Tesla, I'm constantly watching this thing. You know, either way it breaks this range. DT looks exactly like Shui did like last week. Like DT puts in a breakout candle like Shui did. Like Shui is riding the 50-day moving average. Had a breakout here, and now it's way higher. I mean, DT looks exactly the same, riding the 50-day, and yeah. Anywho, okay, the market opens in like now. Let's see what we get here. I shorted a little bit of Livongo. starter. Looks like AVLR is losing that rising 10 and 20 day. I'm gonna give it, like, it's kind of exactly at my entry. I'm gonna use like 127 as my stop. I'm gonna give it a little bit of room. If it doesn't start bouncing soon, I'm gonna sell it. I just bought 12,000 shares of LRN. It's a kind of a thin name. I had to chase it up a little bit. That flag looks great. guys, just I don't have any questions. I don't have any time to answer questions the first 30, 40 minutes because I'm busy trading. You know, there's no point in asking any questions first near the open. I can't. I don't even look at the chat. I'm selling a little bit piece of GBTC. It's gapping up 6%, just tiny bit. Also covered a tiny bit of LVGO short. So far, it had some nice follow through. I thought I was chasing. My average is low 145s. If I had been a bit quicker, I would have gotten a couple of bucks better average. TDOC is going straight down. Let's see how it acts around this 20-day moving average. If it can't hold, I'm gonna get the fuck out. I don't like this candle. Like AVLR, this one is so far bouncing from the gap down. It held the rising 10 and 20. It reclaimed. Like if TDOC can't do it, I'm getting the fuck out of it. Covered a bit more of LVGO. This one is also going straight down together with TDOC. Oh shit, this TDOC, I need to get out of it. It's just going straight down. What the fuck? I'm very close stopping out. I just want to see how it acts in the next few minutes. Takes out lows of the day, I'm out. If it can't literally bounce right here. Okay, fuck it, I'm out. I'm out of TDOC. This thing is, yeah. It's just too weak, unfortunately. Couldn't it have been another stock that bought LVGO? Couldn't any other company bought them? Dexcom or something like that. AVLR is about to go green. TME looks like a decent setup. A bit slower of a stock. It's a China name. But it's trying to re-break its range. Someone asked if I had a target range for Mara. No, I don't. Just trail it. Use a 10-day moving average. Sell some into strength and then you trail it. Yeah, I will definitely hold LAC through earnings. The earnings on LAC don't matter. It's all about the hype. Chumia, that was a big miss on the short side yesterday. I did the right thing and sold it like 20 bucks or 20.50 or something, and then it went to almost 24. And I thought it was gonna go to 30. But then it faded back to 16. How I deal with stocks gapping down? Well, if it gaps down below my stop, you gotta get out. Preferably you get out in after hours of pre-market. But if it's too thin to get out, or if it doesn't trade in after hours of pre-market, you know, you gotta get out of the open. And AVLR, boom, went green on a day. There you go. What's his T-Doc doing? T-Doc is way lower than I sold it. Holy shit, this thing is fading. Livongo too, straight down. Livongo was already really overextended. I only did 10,000 shares. I've covered 2,000 so far. I think this thing could very easily retest like 115 or something in the next few days. Too bad I didn't do more size though. PH good setup? No. Guys, ADR is 2.4%. No. It's not a good setup. Ignore those types of stocks. You won't make any money. You want to make money, you gotta be in the fast movers. Everything else is a waste of time. Guys, before you write anything in chat or ask questions, you need to read this, okay? If you already haven't, that is. 8TVI, there's absolutely nothing there. Well, what does it matter if they smashed their earnings yesterday? It's going lower. Who cares what these analysts are gonna do? The stock is going lower. Ignore what happens. Ignore what the analysts do. All that matters is what the stock is doing. Only price base. The analysts are not gonna make you profits. The stock price action is. And ATV is a slow stock. You shouldn't even be trading this thing. It's a slow stock. Average daily range of 2.8%. You should focus on stocks that have average daily range of 4 or 5% plus. Yeah, they keep going up. They had a good setup yesterday, the gold miner ETFs, and a lot of the gold stocks and silver stocks too. I didn't trade them because I'm in heavily in a bunch of other stuff. But there were good setups there, and if you paid attention, you would have bought them yesterday. Or even several weeks back when they had even better setups. Average daily range indicator, I use the 20-day. I'll post it. I'll post the code, the template for ADR on my blog, on the about page. I'll post it there. It's a work in progress. This GSX I was watching for a potential short. This thing had several perfect looking breakouts in the past few months alone. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 nice looking breakouts. Pacey is not a momentum leader. Guys, it needs to be surfing the 10 or 20-day moving averages or the 50-day. There's nothing here. It's not a momentum leader. Ignore it. Guys, if you haven't watched, you gotta watch my short school, the past 2 sessions. Go to my YouTube or you can watch it on Twitch. Go to YouTube. It's better. Go to and watch the short schools, the 2 last videos I uploaded. Save breakdown idea. Yeah, I tried to short it here in the like high 15s area, but on Friday it was, I think, but it closed kind of strong. Never really broke down, so I covered it. And now it's back in upper end of the range. These things could have long setups next week, these airlines. Man, this Tesla, this range it's building is just insane, unbelievable. Twitter looks interesting. Surfing the 20-day. It's a bit of a slower stock, but I think this thing could really go because it's one of the only like software, like social media stocks that hasn't gone yet. And this is like the most, like they're working on a SaaS, like a subscription model. I think that could drive it could have a big run up into the, before they launch the subscription model. Like this thing, like if they can finally monetize in a good way, it's gonna be $100-200 billion stock, market cap stock. And right now it's not even 30 billion. So I am watching it. Obviously technicals need to come first, but I always like to have some type of fundamental thing that drives the stock too. Riot is, oh, Riot just took out opening range highs. Should I buy it? No, I'm not gonna buy it. This overstock just keeps going. Unbelievable. It's gonna be $100 soon. Yeah, Fastly, they're gonna report after hours. I'm gonna watch it. It was like a short, wasn't short watch, but then I realized it has earnings. Why I annotate my charts? Because then I can keep track of what the story of the stock. That's how I keep track of the earnings and stuff like that, what's going on. That's how I got track of the hot sectors, etc., etc. Was NH 2 days ago a good trade? Not 2 days ago, but 3 days ago it was a good setup. NH was a good setup 3 days ago. When it bounced off this rising 50-day. Look at how clean it is. It's just been riding the 20-day, then it kind of pulled back a little bit and found support on the 50-day, and then it put in a very tight range here, and then it broke out on higher volume. This was a good setup. Very, very liquid stock, but you know, it was a good setup. Cone still in play. It's just a random pump stock. I don't really trade those. FCX looks pretty decent. Square, I may even do, no, actually, no, never mind. I'm not gonna do a position in this thing. I'm heavily long. I can't do it. I'm just too heavily long already. I mean, a lot of things. But Square is the only earnings trade today that looks interesting. Yeah, INO looks like a good setup. It's surfing the 50-day. It's been surfing the 50-day for most of this year. Look at this thing. And now it's on the 50-day again. Tomorrow, I think it would be a good setup. And yesterday it had a narrow range candle. This is a very good setup. You see this list here? This is my watch list. If it's on my watch list, it's probably good. MICT? Nah, maybe, I don't know. It was better down here, but these things are so thin, man. I don't know. Even if it's someone with a tiny account, this thing is like almost too thin. But it has a high average daily range, but you know, I mean, look, it was better here. This is not as good of a setup. It could work, but this was a good setup here. This IBIO is setting up nicely too. Surfing the 20-day, it's been pulling back, going sideways, getting really tight here. Maybe for tomorrow. Very? No. It's not riding any of the moving averages, and it's really choppy, it's not tight, it's definitely not a good setup. It needs to be surfing the 10, the 20, or the 50. Preferably the 10 or 20. But sometimes the 50 ones are also looking really good. Lemonade? Where's the setup here? I mean, where's the setup? There's no setup here. Disney thoughts? Guys, okay, I already know that. Disney, look at the average daily range, 2.2%. You should never trade this type of stock. It's too slow. Focus on stocks at average daily ranges of 4 or 5% plus. The smaller your account, the higher the average daily range needs to be. Like someone with a less than a $50 million account, trading something like this is a waste of time. Yeah, airlines could be looking interesting. They're starting to look interesting. They couldn't break down, and like on the weekly charts, they look. I mean, they're just very tight looking. Like AAL, UAL, Save, DAL. Like these things look pretty good on the weekly charts, and on the daily too. Like maybe next week, if we build more higher lows, these things could have some. Juice. Atosa, guys, please put the ticker. ATOS. You know what? Yeah, you know, it's surfing the 20-day. Like if it starts breaking out of $4, I mean, it could work. It's a COVID-19 stock. It's a bit choppy, like it makes these big spikes and then it pulls back to support, but maybe one of these days it goes. It's not a 5-star setup, maybe 3.5-star setup. Now Twitter is starting to break higher. I don't think there is any ADR on CI. Oh, there was actually. 6.3%. This HDBX looks really interesting too. Look at how clean this setup is. You know, had a big move, pulled back, and now it's just surfing the 20-day with higher lows. Look how clean this thing is. These are the type of setups you want to see. Not some random shit stock that's, you know, not surfing any of the 10, 20, or 50 moving averages. IBIO too. Look at how clean this thing is. Big move, pull back sideways, and look at how tight it's getting. Surfing the 20-day. Those are good setups. Plug? No. It's not tight. It just had a huge candle 2 days ago. It's not tight at all. You want to see tightness before the breakout. You want the chart needs to be tight before the breakout. Blink? There's no setup on Blink. It's way over the 10-day. The 10-day needs to catch up at least, preferably even the 20-day. Nothing there yet. GPL sell? What do you mean sell? Like if you're in it, like if you bought it here at a breakout, like in the mid 80-cent area, or preferably low 80-cent area. I mean, maybe you could sell a tiny bit here if you want to, but you know, wait 3 to 5 days. You sell a third or half after 3 to 5 days, and then you just let the 10-day moving average. You just trail it. Wait for the first close below the 10-day. Like it's kind of, I'm gonna start the short school, or not the short school, swing trading school in like 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna go through it again because it feels like a lot of people in here haven't you know, watched the previous ones. This thing has insane earnings. But not really. It's a very shoppy name though. This thing has also insane numbers, very thin stock though, totally untradeable for me. And Beyond Meat reported also. Wow, big deceleration in revenue growth. Okay, you don't need to pay attention to any of this. All you need to do is pretty much just focus on the chart. Well, BNTX is weakening. It looks like it's gonna break down below the 20-day, but if it holds and closes strong, it could be a setup for tomorrow. Shop is tightening, yeah, but it probably needs another 3 to 5 days to set up, I think. I don't use the 15-minute opening range. I don't use the 15-minute chart. Packard, it's just, guys, ADR 2.1%. I think I need to explain the ADR. I'm gonna put it on my about page. Like I keep getting these stocks with low ADR, so I'll put it on the about page. Like trading these low ADR stocks, it's a total waste of time. Don't do it. Did UAVS get halted? Yeah, it looks like it's halted. Wow, I don't know why it's halted. Interesting. There's no ADR. I'm gonna put it on my about page. I'll show you how to put it there and what it is. Oh boy, what broker do I use? Guys, go to this page here. You need to read everything in there before you ask any questions, please. I need to put that link somewhere on Twitch. I don't know how to do it. I need to figure it out. There's so many people in chat, like 240. Jesus Christ. Like just a week ago, I was averaging like 100 people. Well, nah, not a few months ago. Like when I started, I had like 10, 15 viewers. But a few months ago, it was maybe like 50, 30, 40. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm never gonna lose 1.5 million again. Or at least I'm not gonna post it on Twitter. Make this stream uncool again? Yeah. I mean, like this constant writing in chat. Like I can't keep up. There's just too much. It was much more pleasant like a couple of weeks ago. Like a constant stream. Okay, like Twitter is a really good setup. It really is. It's a slow stock. It's a slow stock, man. But man, I kind of like it. Like, look, yeah, just look how beautiful it undercut and reclaimed the 20-day, and now it's breaking a tight range. I'm gonna, since I sold T-Doc, I'll buy some Twitter. I bought 60,000 shares of Twitter. Let's go. Less than $1 stop. And the average true range is 1.35. So my stop is about, what's my stop? 60, 75 cents maybe? Let's just say 80 cents. So my stop is like 2/3 of average true range. And again, stop is always at the lows of the day. Like this is a very good setup. It's a slow stock. Most of you shouldn't be trading it. I'm trading it just because it's a very liquid stock and I can do size. But any one of you who has less than a couple of million in your accounts, you shouldn't even be looking at it because the average daily range is only 3.6%. You should be focusing on stuff like, oh, BNTX is breaking down. Okay. Because mRNA is breaking down. Yeah, it's okay. You should be focusing on stuff like IBIO or OPK. It needs a few more days. INO. Or LRN. You know, oh, this one is going now. Like LRN was a 5-star setup coming into today. 5-star setup. That's why I bought it. ADR 8.6. Thin though, very thin. I wanted to buy 40,000 shares, but you know I can't. I had to buy 12,000 because it's a very thin stock. Fiverr is going to be a great short setup in the next few days. It reminds me about LVGO. And maybe a bit of a Chumia too. Like it's up like 4 or 5 days in a row, you know, getting really extended, and then it just slams lower. I think Fiverr, maybe if it can hit like 130, 135 tomorrow, and then we get the short tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. FSLR 2 days ago. Yeah, I even put an arrow here. Yep, this is a 5-star setup. Look at this thing. I exactly. You know, this day here. It's a good setup. 5-star setup. And here, another really good setup. Another 5-star setup right here. Look at how beautiful it is. Makes a big move. Keeps surfing the 20-day. It does undercut the 20-day here, but it bounces perfectly off the 50-day. Okay. Then it pulls back, goes sideways, keeps riding the 20-day, starts building higher lows, builds a tight range, and then breaks out. That's a 5-star setup. Guys, what you need to do, you need to take screenshots of these setups. You can't just watch here and listen and think everything is going to be all right. You need to build a chart database of thousands of examples, thousands of them. That's what you need to do. You need to actively be learning. Just watching is not gonna cut it. Thousands, exactly. Thousands. BGFV? No. The 10-day hasn't even caught up yet. Okay, guys, let's keep the chat free from spam. Why don't I show you because I don't want to. I can only stream one screen. If you want to see P&Ls every day, like constantly, real-time P&L, you can go somewhere else. I post P&Ls sometimes on Twitter. I show P&Ls sometimes here. I even have P&Ls on my about page. What more do you need? How's that gonna help you? Like, if you knew my P&L on like TTD right now, how is that gonna help you? Like, if you didn't recognize this setup here 4 days ago and didn't buy it, how is this P&L gonna help you? It's not gonna help you. It's just noise, just a waste of time. Actually, wow, this was pretty good. I'm gonna put it on my about page. Why don't I show my P&L? Let's see, pages. Exactly, process over P&L. TDoc, wow, TDoc keeps selling off. Woo! Good thing I sold it. Where did I sell it? 218, I think I sold it. I mean, in hindsight, I guess I should have sold it a bit higher, like a couple of bucks higher. I went from being up like 100k on it or something like that, or maybe even 200k. Nah, not 200. 150k to being down 62k on it. But I made money on Livongo short, so that's fine. Tesla shenanigans? What does that even mean? It's just in a range. There's no shenanigans here. It's just in a range. It's been in this range for like a month now. SC could be a potential short setup. I'm waiting for this candle to form and then we'll see. Guys, Pfizer is not a trading stock. Ignore Pfizer. It's too slow. ADR of 2.1. It's too slow. When I bought Chumia, I bought it on July 20th. A quick triple. Quick triple. No, I don't trade mergers. Don't waste your time with mergers. Kodak is setting up. I'm watching it for a potential long. Right now it's really not wanting to bounce. I took a loss on it yesterday. I think I lost like 60,000 or something. Oh, Livongo taking another dump. Nice. Damn. Oh man, I should have done like 3 times the size I did. Mother. Oh well. I still have 3/4 of my size. I still have 7,500 shares. Closing in on a 200k profit on it. Unfortunately, I gave back 200k in profits on TDoc, so it's not really helping me a lot. I'm so pissed off it was TDoc that bought them. Or that I was long TDoc. Couldn't it have been someone other stock? A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Not a fan of SPAC. Where's the setup? Where's the setup on SPAC? It's to me it looks like a broken stock. I'm only a fan of stocks that have good setups. Alright, let's do a short school. No, not short school, swing trading school. So yesterday we went through my current positions and the good setups that have been on those stocks in the past 4 or 5 months. So I'm gonna just open up a simple scan. Let's just do past the biggest 6-month gainers. Okay, very simple scan. So I use volume dollars, $80 million. Here it says what, 800,000, but it means 80 million. You have to add 2 or 3 zeros. So this is 80 million dollar volume. Okay. Average daily range. This is the code. I'm just putting it here for now, but also I'm gonna put it on my blog or on my about page. All right. Anyway, and price growth 6 months. The past 126 days, it needs to be in the top 7% of performers after applying these two, like volume and the volatility criteria. So then we do a scan. Like now, it's near the open, so there's not a lot of stocks in this scan. Like after it closes, it's gonna be like 40, 50 stocks in this scan. Let's just start with Carvana. So I'm gonna show you good setups. I can see two 5-star setups right now. One is here, okay? You have a big move, okay? Look at how it keeps surfing the 20-day. And then it just keeps getting tighter. Look at how tight it gets as it surfs the 20-day. And then it has a high volume breakout, okay? On this day here, like this thing needs to be on your watch list once it starts getting tight, okay? You need to be able to identify the setup here. This is where you need to be able to identify the setup. And when the next day, when the market opens, you gotta be ready. As soon as it starts breaking out, that's when you buy it. Okay, and another good setup, this is not a 5-star, this is maybe 3.5 star, is this one here, right here. Another good setup. Keep surfing the 20-day, builds higher lows and puts in a tight range. I'm actually gonna switch to this view here because there's less noise. You don't need to see it. You don't need to put any notes on here. You don't need to do anything. You just need to watch the price. What scan did we use? It was a 6-month gainer scan, yeah. Okay, next one, Square. Oh, now it's fading the gap today. Okay, so Square, did it have any good setups lately? Let's go back here. It had some really good setups like back in 2017. Here is one. This thing, you know, keeps riding the 50-day. Okay, and here, you know, it builds a base, starts breaking out, makes a move, and surfs the 10-day, and then you get 2 really tight candles with higher lows, and then it breaks out. That's a good setup. Here, another really good setup. This is just an insanely good setup. Like, you need to go back and you need to take screenshots of these things. You need to build a database, thousands of stocks. Like, if you don't study at least, you know, spend at least like 500,000 hours studying this one single setup, it's just super simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. But you still need to study. You need hundreds of hours, thousands of hours over the next few years. That's how you master it. That's how you will make millions, tens of millions. With this one setup, you can make tens of millions. like this could be like, it's kind of breaking out of a little bit of a range of the 50-day, you know, building higher lows. It's a little bit more of a subtle setup. Like there's obviously variations of this setup. You're gonna figure it out. You know, if you spend 1,000 hours studying these setups, you're gonna figure out these variations. Here is another decent looking one. Like Square had a bunch of this is another good setup. Bounce off the undercut and bounce off the 20-day, gaps up the next day. This looks very similar to SC. Now this one didn't have that much follow through, but like that setup, that last one looks very similar to SCDG yesterday and a couple of days ago. You had this weak candle that reclaims, and next day you have gap up. That's another one. Sometimes, you know, if you have a good looking setup and it gaps up on earnings or news, even if it gaps up 5, 10, 15%, it could work out really nicely. I rarely buy stocks below the 50-day. Or, I mean, depends. It depends. Oh, guys, go to my about page. It's all there. My position sizing, it's all there. I've linked it like 10 times already. People in the chat have linked it, guys. Do I scale in? For this method, you don't need to scale in. You can buy everything at once. You don't need to worry about scaling in. But you need to scale out. You sell a third or half of your position after 3 to 5 days, and then you just use the 10-day moving average as your trailing stop. And then when the stock closes below the 10-day, you sell the rest. And since, okay, this is short school, so I'll instead of referring to the about page, I'm gonna say it I'm gonna say, you know, talk about the position sizing. Like, you shouldn't put more than 25% of your account in any given stock, ever. There's no point. Like, you get the best breakouts in a bull market, and in a bull market you will have hundreds of stocks that make big moves. There's no point in putting more than 25% of your account in any given stock. Okay, next stock, Etsy. Several really good ones. This is a 5-star setup. Take a screenshot of this thing. Memorize this pattern. You don't need to do anything other. You don't need to know the earnings. You don't need to know what the sector this thing is in. You really don't. That's a 5-star setup. And then you had another really good setup like here. Well, actually it was a better setup here. Higher lows, you have a range, it's surfing the 20-day. And now look at it. Another one, Fiverr. I can immediately find a 5-star setup right here. I didn't trade it was too thin, but I did recognize this setup. I even look at this arrow. I put this thing in my back watch list. Just to track it, and look at this thing, straight up. And if, you know, you would have bought it here, you'd have sold half or a third on any of, like, on this day here, on any of these 2 days, 3 days, after 3 to 5 days, you sell a third or half, and then you use the 10-day moving average as a trailing stop. And, you know, here it kind of undercut the 10-day, but it reclaimed and closed above. And then you can move your stop here, okay? And once it goes below this area, that's when you get stopped out. So, you know, using that those sell rules, you would still be in the stock. But this is something you will figure out once you look at thousands of stocks, thousands of leading stocks, big movers like these, how they act around these moving averages, and how do you develop sell rules. Fastly, another one. This one I talked about yesterday, so I'll ignore this one. mRNA. I'll just show you a 5-star setup right out of the gate. Here it is. I bought this thing here. Unfortunately, I didn't follow my own sell rules, so I sold it on this day here. And then look at what happened. I just thought, you know, I don't know why I sold it. I just sold it. I didn't trust it. And then look at what it did. Here, another 5-star. And there was actually a good setup here too. This was an even better setup. You have this, look at how tight it got. And then you have this big range. And here, another 5-star setup. Boom. Look at this. Here is another good setup. Actually, here is when I bought it. It undercuts the 50-day, reclaims, starts building higher lows. You have this big range. You have this breakout candle on higher volume, and look at what happened. Made a big move, and now it's flagging again. This is also a good setup. It's building higher lows, has a tight range. Like maybe tomorrow, if this thing can close stronger than it is right now, could be a good setup tomorrow. What's BNTX doing? Now BNTX looks really weak. It undercut the 20-day, but this thing, if this thing closes strong, like closes inside of this range, it could still be a setup for tomorrow. Let's look at another one. W. This thing had some good setups too. Some were a bit subtle. Nah, this wasn't really a good setup, even though it really worked. Sometimes you have this, you know, some setups are just, you know, too short, but they work anyways. Here is a good setup. This is a 5-star setup. You have a stock that finds support on a 20-day, starts building higher lows, puts in a tight range, and then it has a breakout candle. That's a 5-star setup. Here's another, maybe not a super setup, maybe a 3.5-star setup. Now, in hindsight, it worked, but... And this is one I bought last week. This is when someone's told me, hey, I see you're long W. You should quit trading. Kind of funny. Anyway, I bought it here. This one I also talked about yesterday on the swing trading school, so you already know about this one. NVAX I talked about yesterday. Livongo I think, no, Livongo I didn't talk about. This one I've been trading several times this year. I initially bought it on this day here when it guided higher, but that's another setup. Maybe I'll start teaching that setup next year or something, but let's just focus on this one simple breakout setup I'm trying to tell you. Teach you. This is like, it's not really an obvious setup. It did work, but not a great setup. This is a great setup. I traded it. Unfortunately, it stopped me out. Okay, no follow through. Stopped me out. Then it found another. It bounced off the 20-day here. It bounced off the 20-day here. Now let's see what happened. Look at this. Look at this. And this is a 5-star setup. I traded it. Look at this thing. Builds higher lows. Has this tight range, and then it starts breaking higher. That one I traded. I bought it back. Had a huge move, and then you get another 5-star setup right here. It did close a bit weak, but I did buy it right when it started breaking out. It serves the 10-day, higher lows, tight range, and breaks out. Look at this thing. And I sold it somewhere here in the low hundreds area because I thought it was getting extended. I didn't think it was going to go up much more. Well, I was wrong. Here we are. It went to 150 yesterday. Another one, Mara. It's a little bit another type of trade. I'll ignore it. VXRT. This is a good setup. Okay, this is something you need to identify the day before, and then the next day it gaps up on some news. Okay, you need to be on it. You need to buy it opening range highs. You can see, this thing had huge volume out of the gate. I bought this thing. I had a big trade on it. Opening range highs, you buy it. Lows of the days, you stop. And then you just, you know, sell it into strength, some at the 3 to 5 days. And the first close below the 10-day, which would be on this day here, you get stopped out of the rest. And VX30 has kind of a maybe setup today. It doesn't really, it doesn't look that great. Never mind. SRNE. This thing has two really good. This one I bought. I messed up the sell. Like, I'm usually very good with entries, but many times I just don't follow my own sell rules, and it kind of annoys me. It kind of pisses me off sometimes. Unfortunately, I sold it on this day here. $6. I don't know why. And then look at what it did. But good thing is I rebought it here. This was, I think it's Monday, 8/29. I bought 150,000 shares, if I remember correctly. Or 200,000 shares, I don't remember, but yeah. And I'm still long 40,000 shares. Tesla, this thing is setting up. It's setting up. Same thing, higher lows. This one I talked about yesterday, so I'm not going to talk about it today. Twilio, another one. You have a big move. Shops around for a bit, goes sideways in a choppy range. Finds support on the rising 20-day, starts building a range, tight range, puts in a narrow candle, and then it has a breakout on higher volume. Now, obviously, you can't, most of the time, you can't kind of determine, like, early in the day that it's going to have higher volume. So you just, you know, especially if you're trading like liquid, like mid and large cap stocks, like they always have volume. You don't need to worry about it. And look at what it did. And here, another good setup. Really good setup. Look at this. Higher lows, tight range, bounces off the 20-day again, builds higher lows, and then has a breakout candle. Boom. Overstock. This one I also talked about, if I remember correctly. But this one had a good setup here. Not a 5-star, but maybe a 3.5, 4-star. This is a 5-star setup. Okay, and this is also like a 5-star setup. Okay. All right, so this was just one scan. Like, I have many different scans for different time frames. So this was the 6-month gainer scan. Okay, I also have like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, and then like 5-day gainers and stuff like that too. So you want the strongest stocks on any given time frame. But as a short term, like, you guys you can ignore the 2 year and the 1.5 year. You only have to focus on the 1 month. This is the formula for the 1 month. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. Here. So the lows C min L22, like the price gain from the lowest point the past 22 trading days. 22 trading days, that's 1 month. Okay, that's the formula. Okay, so you need this scan, and then the ADR. Like, I use 3.5%, but most of you should put it at 5-6%. And dollar volume, I have 80 million here, or actually it sets 800,000. But you can use maybe like, I don't know. It depends on your account size. Just do like 20 times, 30 times your account size. If you have $100,000 in your account, take that times 30. Or 50. Let's just say 50. So you need to put like 5 million here, $5 million volume. So the 1 month, you need the 3 month. So the formula for this one is C min low L 67. 67 trading days, that's 3 months. And you also need the 6 month. You don't need any of these others, like the 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year. You don't need those. You can ignore those. And this is where is the 6 month one? Here's the 6 month. The lowest price point of the past 126 days. Okay, and the rank 93%. You can play around with the volume, the average daily range and the rank. You need to put a rank. It needs to be like 90 plus, 95% plus. And you shouldn't get, like, after a market is closed, if you get more than 50 results, you need to tighten the criteria. You need to increase the dollar volume and or the ADR and or the rank, percentage rank. Like if you get more than say 50 results in any of those scans, you need to tighten up the criteria. And then you put them all, and then you just look for good setups and put them in a separate watch list. All right, enough for short school today. I don't like talking too much. It's really tiring. Okay, I'm gonna focus on my own trading for a while now. LRN, this thing is up. Let's see, what's my average? I have 12,000 shares, 49 average. So this thing is up 4%. Like what I personally do, I just sell like every 3 to 5%. I sell a little bit. But I suggest for you, just ignore it. No matter how much it goes up the first 1 or 2 days, just ignore it. What you need to do is you need to sell a third to a half. Like you could do like this, like you sell a third on day 3, which means on Friday you would sell a third, and then you sell a third on day 5, like on Tuesday you would sell another third, and then you trail the rest with the 10-day moving average, okay? Or you could do like you sell a third, or sorry, you sell half on day 3, 4, or 5, and then you trail the rest. Trail the second half. You can play around with it, like, you know, whatever works for you. What about PayPal? What about PayPal? PayPal had a good setup here. I mean, what about it now? And it's also a very slow name. Don't trade PayPal. If you want to make big money, you gotta be in the fast moving stocks, not the slow moving stocks. That's just how it is. The fast moving stocks, not the slow moving stocks. Okay, let's see if UAVS announced offering. Oh wow, it's still up though. Largest loss and win. Okay, go to my about page. It's all there. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Stock Daddy, for linking AA Ride and Stock Daddy. Thanks for linking the and also Big Tune. Thanks for linking the about page. I really appreciate it. It's really helpful. Thanks, guys. Like I get the same questions 10 times per day, like in the Twitch stream, on Twitter, on YouTube. I just had to get that about page together, man. I wanted to do it for months, but you know, I'm lazy, so. How do you spend your mornings leading up to market hours? That's a really good question. I'm gonna answer it on the about page. That's a really good question. I've gotten it before, but yeah, that's a good question. I'll put it on my about page. How was your performance using momentum stocks prior to this massive bull run? It was very good. Like breakouts, like any type of breakout or momentum strategy you use, they're gonna work best obviously when the market is in a momentum mode. And you know, sometimes you have to be in cash for weeks and months on end when the market is not good. And that's fine. You know, if you can sit out a period like this, and then when a period like this comes around, you're gonna double, triple, quadruple your accounts. Trust me on this one. You don't need to trade all the time. It's fine to sit in cash for months on end. Now, it's easier said than done. But generally, what you want to see, like Nasdaq is the, you know, the relevant index. You don't need to look at anything other than Nasdaq, okay? Nasdaq is where 90% of the stocks I trade are in the Nasdaq, okay? So generally what you want to see is the 10-day sloping higher and the 20-day sloping higher, or at least one of them needs to be sloping higher, generally. And the 10-day needs to be above the 20-day. It's fine if it undercuts a little bit for a while, but you know, that's a general rule. So this has been a really good swing trading market. Okay, during this time there weren't many breakouts, and those that were, they failed. There were a lot of breakdowns though, but that's just another type of strategy. You don't need to do any shorting. This was also a really good market. I more than doubled my accounts on this during this 4-month bull run. This period was a little bit more challenging. This was a decent period, even though it only lasted for a few months. This was a bit challenging because, you know, the market was downtrending. Like the 10-day started sloping lower, 20-day started sloping lower, the 10-day was below the 20-day. That's not a great swing trading environment. And then this was just a choppy environment, no trend. And the 10-day to 20-day, they were like mostly going sideways or lower or sloping down. And this was also an insanely good trading environment, the first 5 months of 2019. And you know, I can go back years and years. So you get this, like every year there's usually a 3 to 6 month period that's a bit challenging. You will make very little or no money, and that's fine. And then you get these runs that last for 3 to 6 months where you will double and triple your account. You just have to wait for those periods, okay? You have to wait it out. It's really making millions in trading. It's really not about rocket science. It's all about patience and discipline. It really is. If you have more than 10 brain cells, you can make a lot of money. But what most people don't have is the patience, the temper, just waiting and doing nothing. Most people want the fix, including me. They need to be doing something all the time. Yes, I used the platinum version of TC2000. Do you think Kodak might be supernova in a few sessions? I don't think anything. Right now it's just going down. Oh, hey, Jordan R, you're recovering from a motorcycle wreck? Holy shit, that sucks. Good. I guess the good thing is you get time to study setups. Like really, like what you guys need to do, you need to get these scans in order, and then you just need to find these setups. Just look at any stock that doubles or triples or quadruples or something, and then you just look at how they act. You need to use the 10-day, the 20-day, and the 50-day moving average. Like these are really the only indicators I personally feel I need. Like these are the main ones, and you will see like every leading stock, they will find support levels on the 10, 20, and 15-day moving averages. Like these are as close to magic as you can get. Okay, it's almost like cheating. It's a little bit like cheating. Okay, and there's a reason I use this moving average, because the leading stocks that make big moves, obey these lines. They've done it the past few years. They did it 50 years ago. They did it 100 years ago. How do I know? Because I've studied charts from those periods. There's no guesswork. There's a reason for all of these things. There's a reason for every indicator I use, because they work. How do I know they work? Because I've studied them, going back many decades. Do I trade anything else than US stocks? Yes, I also trade the US ETFs. Gonna put that one also in the about. Trade Zero or Interactive Brokers. I've never used Trade Zero. Trade Zero is, I guess, better if you like short a lot. But I think Interactive Brokers is really good. But it doesn't really matter. Like, you need to try them both and see which one works for you. Will you share? Yeah, I'm gonna show you like later this week or maybe next week my Evernote database. Like I have tens of thousands of charts and setups with different strategies. I'm gonna show you a little bit of it. I've spent thousands of hours building it. Your TC2000, yeah, you need to get a platform that does, or you just need to get books that where that shows charts and stuff. Have you considered using the 5 EMA? Not really, because the 5 EMA is gonna stop Yaro the big gainers. 5 EMA is what is too fast. What caused you 4 blow-ups? Lack of strategy, lack of setups. How did you get the watch list left side? What do you mean? This one? I just created it. I click here. I click here. I put the name on it. I click OK. Then I get a watch list and I put it here. This is like my daily back watch list. I track every notable breakdown. I track them for a month. Like let's see. It's 5th of August now. My oldest back watch list is 6th of July. We can just go through it and look at what triggered that day. Actually, I've already put the. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. Yeah, that's a good one, Budir. I've already done that one. I just haven't put it on the about page. You can see it right here. On the daily chart, I use the simple moving averages. On the 60-minute chart, I use exponential moving averages. Why? Because they work. They just work. Like it doesn't really even matter what moving averages you use. Like I use these ones because I found they work really well on momentum stocks. But you know, you may find that some other moving average works better, and that's fine. Like, but there needs to be a reason for it. Okay, 6th of July had this CBAT had a random pop, UMRX had a random pop, Hayway IRO had a random pop, Tiger. Yeah, the China brokerage stocks broke out that day. I remember that. Mark had a random pop. Oh, this is the day I lost a bunch of money on it. I bought the breakout. I didn't realize they had earnings after hours, and I had to sell on the gap down. Weibo had a random pop. Yin had a, yeah, okay, China names all had random pops that day. MKTX, it's a very slow name, but it kind of broke out of a nice pattern, but had no follow through. IMMU gapped up on some news. Oh, IMMU, I can show you 2 really good setups on this one. 3 really good setups. Here, this day here. You know, this had a big move on high volume on some biotech news. Kind of went higher, pulled back. The 10-day caught up, and then it broke out on high volume. It wasn't a very obvious setup. Actually, you know, the day before it looked like this. It wasn't a very obvious setup. But, you know, this was a better setup. No, wait. Where's the better setup? Here is a better setup. Or actually, it's kind of extended, but there was a setup here too. It didn't have much follow through. Actually, you would have lost money on it. But this is a very good setup. Had a big move. It tripled or something, quadrupled, pulled back, went sideways, found support on the 50. Actually, before the 50-day, had a nice like range break candle. This is a very good setup, and this is another pretty decent setup. Like, it wasn't really tight going into it, but sometimes, you know, the previous day can be loose if you have a nice range. The same here. You're gonna have to look at the overall picture, but you know, if you study thousands of examples, you're gonna figure these things out. FSLR we talked about earlier. Nete had a good setup yesterday. It's a very thin stock, but this thing had a very good setup yesterday. This is a 5-star setup. And today it gapped up a bunch, and now it's actually took out yesterday's lows. I don't know, they had some news and they didn't like the news, I guess. Okay, Coupa 5-star setup right here. Boom, boom, boom. Higher lows. Look at how it just keeps surfing the 20-day higher lows, and then you have a little bit of a range. It was a bit choppy, but eventually it got tighter and tighter and broke out. Boom. What's this? Oh, this thing had a big breakdown that day. DXM. This one I'm stalking. It's a little bit like it's getting super tight. You can just clearly like look at this range. Like this thing wants to go higher. You can clearly see this is an earnings winner. Big earnings. They reported last week. Big guidance. Like this thing has fuel. It's not something you guys have to focus on. But I like to trade the stocks with big earnings. They tend to make the biggest moves. But the only thing you really need to focus on is the momentum. That's really only. Because all of the big earnings winners, they're going to have a momentum. You're going to catch them if you just focus on momentum. So you don't really need to focus on anything else. I'll even switch to this tab so you don't see anything other than just the setup. What was I trying to say? I don't even remember. Workhorse. This thing hasn't had really much follow through since I bought it, but it is building higher lows. I bought it 2 days ago when it broke the 17 area. It popped 15-16% really quickly, pulled back, and put in a higher low. Put in another higher low. So far it looks okay. VIX had a big move. Alright, holy shit, I'm getting really tired now. I'm gonna do one more scan, and these are my intraday scans. You don't need to focus on any of these. You don't need any intraday scans. All you need to do is use the 1 month, 3-month and 6-month momentum scans. Find setups, you need to run them after you close. Find good setups, put them in a watch list, and then you just have to watch that watch list. That's all you need to do to make millions. And like, I'm gonna write a step-to-step guide. Like, obviously, and you also have to be like aware of the market conditions and stuff like that. Like, I mean, an uptrending market or downtrending market, or like, what are the market conditions? Right now they're very good. Like the past 4 or 5 months has been the best swing trading environment since the late 90s. Probably. Or maybe like a second and third quarter of 2009. That was also a really good period. Just going back and looking at charts, like there were some insane moves back then. APT, APT I got stopped out. Let's see where I had a hard stop set. I got filled 19.99. I had 5 cent slippage. Yeah, I'm all out APT. I sold the half at near the close yesterday when it was obvious it was gonna close at least like right at the 20-day, and then I kept half because I was really like hoping it was gonna gap up and just bounce off the 20-day, but it's not. So right now it's a broken chart. Let's see, taking it off from my positions list. So, since I sold the stock, like this window here, these are my positions. I'm taking it off. I'm removing it from this list. So right here, let's see, LRN. This is what a 5-star setup should do. For those who paid attention, have been paying attention, like those of you who have been on my stream for months, you should have all been on top of this one. This is a 5-star setup. Not now. The entry was in the like 48 area, 49 area. My average is 49.02. I had to chase it a little bit since I was buying a bit size. I wanted more, but I started buying it like low, like 48.20s, and I got filled on my last shares like low 49s. So that's how thin the stock was. And this thing could easily go to 60, 70, Wow, this LSC, I still think this thing is gonna go haywire. Like, when Robinhood finds this stock, when David Day Trader finds this one, it's gonna go to 2030. It had several good setups. Had a setup here, had a setup here. I personally bought it. Where did I buy it? Did I buy it here? No, I bought it here. I bought it on this day. I chased it a little bit. Like, this was the correct entry right here, but I chased it just because I thought it was such a big potential. And sometimes, if you made millions, you can break rules, okay? If you've been trading for 9 years, you know when to break the rules. If you have been trading for less than 5 years, you don't know when to break the rules, and you shouldn't break the rules. PEA looks like I may get stopped out. I'm actually gonna put a hard stop on it so I don't have to watch it. Alright, let's see. Yeah, INO for tomorrow looks like a really, really good setup. It's just a really good looking setup. Not a 5-star, but like a 4-star setup. And also this DT, it looks exactly like Shui did on this day here. Exactly like Shui did here. This is what DT looks like right now. It's a bit slower, like these are a bit slower, like you know, you should focus on the ones that are surfing the 10-day and the 20-day. But you know, I also trade the ones that surf the 50-day many times. But yeah, like if I had buying power left, I would buy it, but I don't, so I'm not gonna buy it. But it's a good setup. It's a four-star setup. And also two that look really good are IBIO and HTBX for tomorrow. HTBX looks a bit better. mRNA surfing the 50-day. No, it's not. Right now it's surfing the 20-day, but it has been surfing the 50-day previously. Yeah, like, yeah, it bounced here, but right now it's surfing the 20-day. If it closes strong, it's gonna be a setup for tomorrow. Looks like Twitter is taking out highs for the day. I like Twitter. Like, it's a bit slow, but like I'm risking what, 75, 80 cents to potentially make. I mean, this thing gets going. Why can't this thing go to 45, 50? You know, good risk reward. Like on swing trading, you always want to get like, you're aiming to get like 5, 10, 20 times, 30 times your initial risk. Like the best trades, you'll make 20, 30, 50 times your initial risk. You know, you can make a lot of money even if you only have like 20, 30% win rate. You can make a shitload of money. Like my win rate last year, I think it was 20, was it 22%, 25%, something like that. And this year, it's a bit better. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe closer to 30%. But you can have a win rate well below 50% and you can make a shit ton of money. And you know, another thing, you know, there's a lot of these day traders out there selling their subscription services that, you know, they claim they have like this 70, 80, 90% win rates. And maybe they have, but if you need a 70, 80, 90% win rate to make money, I'm sorry, but your setups suck. Your methods suck. You have a very little edge if you need that high of a win rate to make money. What was your best month? How much? My best month was probably like, I don't know, May or June or something. Yeah, no, wait. Yeah, I think June this year was my best month. I made 5 million. I made 5 million bucks in June. Because the market was just so good. Like, look at the Nasdaq during June. This is June month. Look at this thing. It's pretty much straight up. A little bit pullbacks, but you know, still. Numbers. Yeah, okay. I'll show you what those mean. Let's look at LVGO. So what it means, I'm gonna show you. These are from MarketSmith, these numbers. These are earnings and revenue. Okay. So the left column is the earnings, like EPS growth, and the right one is revenue growth. This is what a growth stock looks like. These kind of stocks you wanna be long. The ones that have triple-digit earnings and revenue growth. This is the reason LVGO went from like 20 bucks to 150 in like 4 months, 5 months. This is fuel. This is called fuel. Rocket fuel is another word for it. And that's pretty much what I put. Like I like to keep track of the story. like the numbers. Like I can quickly, if I scroll through, like on Square too, I can just quickly see the numbers. Okay, that gives me a bit more conviction versus just some random stock that doesn't have any earnings at all. Like Twitter, like this one really has shitty earnings and revenue growth, but again, I think this thing could go like as a good looking chart, very clean, perfect 20, surfing the 20 EMA perfectly. And I talked about it before, like this is like the most powerful social media platform in the world, and if they finally can monetize it when they finalize their SaaS model, this thing could go to 100 billion plus. So we'll see. But I'm just rationalizing the trade. But sometimes I need to rationalize things, even though you really don't need to make big money in the markets. Fiverr is going to be a great short setup for tomorrow if it closes strong. Like AMD, yeah, this one, yeah, this is the one that got away. You're not gonna catch everything. Like in a bull market, there's gonna be hundreds of stocks that break out and make big moves. You don't need to be in everything. And also, you don't need to be like ultra concentrated. Like there's, some people, successful traders that think that, you need to be really concentrated. You need to put like 50% of your account in a single stock. No, you don't need to. Absolutely not. You're gonna make your money in bull runs, and every bull run there's hundreds of stocks that make big moves. You don't need to put 50% of your account in one stock. That's just stupid. I would generally say don't put more than 25% of your account in any given stock. There's just no need to. Like, let's say you go long Tesla, you put 50% of your account in this thing, okay? And the next day, this thing breaks out, you put 50% of your money in this thing. Or even worse, you put 100% of your money in this thing. And then the next day, overnight, Elon Musk gets a heart attack and dies. This thing is going to be down 70%. Okay? It's going to be down 70%. God forbid something happens to Elon, but I'm just saying, right? Or you put something in a big position in some micro cap biotech stock, like they have some bad news, it's gonna go down 90% overnight. You're done. Your career is over. You don't have any career anymore in trading, at least. Etsy, like Etsy is a good short setup. Like I think if it gaps up on earnings, it could be like a sell the news scenario, because it's really extended from the base. Like it's up what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. This is gonna be like a 5-star short setup. I just hope it gaps up on earnings. That would be an ideal scenario, and I'm gonna be on it. As long as if it opens break even, just like Fiverr today. Not Fiverr, sorry. Livongo. Like this one also. This one gapped up a little bit. It was up. It was up way more in pre-market. It actually hit like 160, almost 168 in pre-market. But anyways, first, right out of the gate, it put in a red 1-minute candle, and I kind of shorted it right there, low 145s. I shorted 10,000 shares. Now in hindsight, I should have done 2-3 times the size, but whatever. A really good setup, like a 5-star setup. And Fiverr looks similar also for tomorrow if it can close strong today. Like we're in a runaway bull market, like extremely good momentum market. So there's a lot of these setups coming up. That's another setup I trade. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need that setup to make millions. It's a little bit. It's much harder setup to trade than just the breakout method I've been teaching you. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'm not gonna answer any comments or questions. I'm just my throat is starting to hurt from talking. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I see some people have DM'd me. I'm gonna answer.